This is Terry again. Got this book here that we've been doing research, Elvis in Texas, and today we're going to Cisco, which is a couple of hours from where we live. We're going to see what we can track down at the museum and on Main Street and all that about what Elvis did in Texas and Cisco, and we'll let you know when we find out. All right, we're in Cisco, Texas. Main Street through here is Conrad Hilton Boulevard, named for the hotel entrepreneur, of course, and the first Hilton is here, and we'll drive by it here in a minute. It's called the Mobley. It was back during the oil boom or something, whatever was booming around here, so they rented rooms there at times by the hour, more than likely. So we're going to see the historic part of Cisco down here. They had the Santa Claus bank robbery in 1920s. Will be here on the left. It's an auto parts place now, but we'll get out later on and check and get a more in-depth report on that. Buildings are still very, very old here, old brick. Some of the roads are still paved with brick, which is unusual that they haven't changed that. Downtown's only a couple of blocks here is about all it is. But some of these buildings are tall for a town this small, population 3,000 or something. You see some of these probably 4, 5, 6-story buildings down here. You see a mural over there on the right, welcome to Cisco. A lot of Texas towns, the majority of them have murals nowadays, which are very nice. Elvis supposedly played in a building, and more than likely if he did, it would have been here on Main Street, I'm sure. We're going to check that out later on and get the book and get into detail on that. That's some of these tall buildings, very large buildings that couldn't support anything nowadays in a town this small. But Cisco was booming at one time, it's quite obvious. Right there on the right, 1916 Mobley Hotel, the first Hilton. Got a statue of Conrad Hilton out front. Railroad track down there. There's significance to this railroad here too that we'll explore and talk about also. So this is the outskirts, the end of Cisco. On this highway, Highway 6, I believe it goes to Albany probably. We're going to turn around and do some more exploring here in a minute. This is the railroad here, right north of Cisco, on the edge of town, and supposedly this is where Elvis was at in 1960, in the back of the last car passing through here on his way to California. That's the story that we got from this lady, Joyce, that we'll talk about later. Hello everyone. After reading the book or researching Elvis in Texas, we learned that Elvis had played in Cisco, so we decided we'd go on a trek to Cisco and see what we could find out. Before going, I called the museum, the Mobley there, and they referred me to a Mr. Hale who might have information, and he referred me to a lady named Joyce, and I called her on the phone, and this is the interview with her.
Saw him. He had just got out of the military.
Right, then that would have been like 1960.
60 or 61, yeah. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's 60 when...
okay, then I was Do you have down what month that was?
No, because I didn't know about him doing anything there in 1960.
Okay. I think he stopped at all the little towns.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he didn't want to fly or if this was a Colonel Tom thing that got him to ride this train to California. He was going to make a movie. And I'm sure you can figure out which one that was.
G.I. Blues was the
Blues
first. My wife is the historian over here.
Yeah, okay.
No,
I thought it was the one who he is in the Army.
Yeah.
You know, in the movie, too. No, I was at high school, which was on 7th Street then, and my mother worked at his doctor's office about a block or two away, and she heard somehow that this was happening, and it happened to be at a break after lunch or sometime, because she came up to school, and whatever friends were around at the time, we piled in a car. Mother took us up to the train station, and the train at that time was parked because there was a depot there that stopped to bring mail and different things. And he had the last car on the train.
Okay.
And we all were, and there were other people that were older than me that had their own cars that had heard it too, probably on a radio, I'm guessing. And so there were other people there too, and we were all standing on the tracks behind that car, and he and the two band members came out on that little, whatever that little
the back of
yeah,
it.
That little porch thing on the back. But they did it only after the train started moving. Mm-hmm. And so everybody went screaming down the track.
I guess so, yeah.
Running, you know. That was it. But
so that was just an appearance that way, that he just came through and like a president campaigning or something like.
I don't really know the motive behind it, but he could have flown.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it was.
It wasn't like it was announced, so it wasn't like any promotional thing, like Elvis maybe coming through your hometown or whatever. It was kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah, but other people have told me he stopped in Baird and Clyde and places other places along the whole rail. Whenever the train stopped, they were on that car, which would have taken them longer to get there. So I don't know. So that concludes the interview with Joyce. There was a short film in there that showed Elvis on April 19th, 1960 in Dallas at the end of a train car signing autographs for some people, and that probably was the exact trip that Joyce is talking about. He's probably heading west to California to begin filming on G.I. Blues, as that filming began on May the 2nd of 1960. So that's what we found out. I hope we're correct, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.